Well, guys, today's the day we're going to go and look at some strange EA patents that have been catching, I guess, a little bit more buzz recently. Over the last like 6 hours or so, there's one that people are finding out about now that I've actually talked about before on this channel, but there is another couple I want to take a look at today and kind of show you guys, because to be honest with you, it is pretty interesting. And, you know, we'll discuss that when we get there, not to get ahead of ourselves, but there's some pack manipulation stuff. There's some DDA stuff again in there, new DDA stuff that we'll get into. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to MMOXP.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. But okay, thank you guys for watching, of course. Subscribe if you are new, and I guess let's just, I mean, the content stuff, what is there to say right now? Really too much. 84x10s came out 5 times a day. If you guys don't know, 8510s won't come out probably till August, if I had to guess, repeatable, so we don't have those coming really anytime soon. Maybe with the way things have gone, that comes slightly earlier this year, but I would guess they'll come at the beginning of August, just like they did last year, but we will see. Also, they keep refreshing the exchanges and nothing changes, and if you guys want to know why they do that, is just to get you on that day, right, to see if it does change. But they come out and they're the exact same every time, and I'm gonna assume in 5 days from now they're going to be the exact same again. You know, maybe in 4 or 5 weeks they change up a little bit, but the reason they've been doing that is to just get you back on the game for a little bit. And also, there's an interesting store pack right now I'm gonna open in this video today, actually, and I don't recommend you do this because it's 550k, but it includes one guaranteed shapeshifter's icon or hero at 96 or higher. I think there's like 13 or 14 above the pack price and 4 or 5 below the pack price, so odds are you're still gonna get a card that probably is below the pack price, but it'll be a fun pack to open for content with coins. Of course, don't open this at all, even yourself, with coins. FC points goes without saying, but I would recommend just not opening those right now. I just think it'll be fun to do for content. And there's a bunch of playstyle plus evos still supposed to come, by the way, that we have not seen yet. That this cup expires at content time today, so if we don't see some of these playstyle evos that we'll go and look at here in a sec in this next cup, I guess they'll probably be in the new season, if I had to guess, which that will be on the Wednesday night into Thursday, that new futties season. So yeah, I mean, right now it just shows you with the objective stuff. This rush objective came out, right? You know, 30k rush points for an 83-3, 82-3 for playing 5. It's just not enough, and unfortunately I'm actually the minority. I think rush is kind of fun when you don't have like horrible, awful teammates, and they just don't make it worth it because it's just bad rewards. But okay, so let's kind of begin with the title of the video theme sort of here, and that is like manipulation of pack weight, pack odds, etc., other EA patents and stuff. So there's this Reddit post that was like a month ago or so that highlighted some of EA's patents. Well, just one of them actually. That was some sort of system that looks at how much you play and dictates your rewards based on that. That's what they could theoretically do, right? Time between tasks, quote unquote, gaming frequency, player level, beginner, intermediate, veteran, and pro, giving different rewards according to that profile / tag. And I saw this tweet from Fut Reveal today, and reading into this actual patent, I went through and read most of it. A lot of this is just technical jargon, but I'll try and summarize it for you as much as I can. Which flashbang warning, by the way, you get about 3 seconds here. 3, 2, 1, and okay. This is the patent that he was talking about, which is, what number is it? Patent 101 something. Yeah, 101664779. And now this patent is actually not the one I would look towards the most. I went through a rabbit hole we'll talk about in one sec. This is not actually the one that I think is the biggest indicator for like different rewards based on certain things, even though it's what this can do, right? An award may be distributed to a user based on amounts of real world time taken by the user to complete the second task. There's first and second tasks, which is just kind of more technical jargon, but basically this patent was what that Reddit user was talking about. And yeah, this is one way that they can manipulate certain rewards you get based on the amount of time it takes to complete tasks or time it takes between certain tasks. This one is more so based off time awards, right? So that obviously could be happening here, but this is more so to a lesser extent that I care about personally than one we're going to look at, because I went into a rabbit hole a little bit here. And I was like, okay, I saw the inventors, I saw the assignee was EA, right? I was like, okay, Kellen Christopher Smalley, right? What are the patents that he has? So I went to this website and saw a lot of the patents he has, and there wasn't much to look at here. I also couldn't see if EA was an assignee on a lot of them like they were on this one. So what I actually did was just look up all of EA's patents on this website, right? So I went through all of the EA just IA patents that, you know, they have to publicize, and we can see all of them, right? So the first one obviously everyone thinks about when it comes to these is the DDA patent, right? And that's this one right here. We've read this one before on the channel many times. I would say a good portion of the community thinks that this is in the game and they can manipulate gameplay based upon many factors. You guys pretty much all already know about DDA. Now, the interesting thing about this is that this was in 2020. The original patent's in like 2013. I don't know if they have to renew these, but for example here, filed October 6, 2020, date of patents June 28th, 2022. So, you know, if they weren't using a lot of this, are they going to update it like this? Is this like an update basically of the patents? You know, why would you be updating it like this and putting any effort into it if you didn't need to use it at all? So the thing with that you can always say about DDA though is that it's in offline game modes, right? And that doesn't make sense why you would want to keep updating it and keep kind of improving the system, right? But what I find really funny that you'll see right here, I was digging through the patents and stuff, just scrolling through, but you can see here they just have a list of all of them, right? So I'll scroll through kind of slowly here. That's the point. I was scrolling through here. I see this one. This is where I saw DDA, but I saw one that was an updated DDA. So here we go. Real-time dynamic modification and optimization of gameplay parameters within a video game application. Now, the date says July 2019 here. It was filed a few years later, so just keep in mind that the dates are a little wonky. DDA's been a thing since like 2013. That's when the patent first initially came out, or EA first filed it, right? I don't know why I said it like that, but I found this one hilarious. So basically, this whole thing is the exact same thing, except read the summary. The summary here is great. It's a couple sentences, just bear with me. Embodiments presented herein include systems and methods for performing dynamic difficulty adjustment. Okay, makes sense. Further, embodiments disclosed herein perform dynamic difficulty adjustment using processes that may not be detectable or are more difficult to detect by users compared to static and or existing dynamic difficulty adjustment processes. So basically all this patent is here is DDA but harder to detect. So what is it exactly? I don't really know the inner workings of a lot of what they're talking about here when you go into like the really nitty-gritty details of it, but the summary and stuff, you know, is pretty simple. It's the same stuff in some embodiments, historical user information utilized by a machine learning system to generate a prediction model that predicts an expected duration of gameplay, a retention rate, the length of time a user is expected to play the game, right? So this is just DDA, but I guess they wanted to make it more undetectable. So, okay. So this is just the DDA stuff. I haven't even gotten into the reward stuff yet, which is the interesting part here. But I thought this was funny before we even talk about that. Said there was I guess another DDA patent that came out that literally the goal of it is to make it more undetectable or more difficult to detect compared to static and or existing DDA processes. So, okay. But this is the one here I found as well, May 18th, 2022, that is more so all-encompassing when it comes to item obtain rate, right? So dynamic item obtain rate based on player progression, action, and other in-game behavior. And the reason it's dynamic, obviously, is because it changes from person to person. A really interesting thing down here as well. The summary's right here, by the way, which it just basically is exactly what you would expect it to say. But this paragraph down here is great. Okay, this one hits home real well, and we'll read through this and let me know what you guys think. But here it is. So conventional systems, aka like a static obtain rate, so everyone has the same odds, right? Conventional systems, however, suffer from various drawbacks and inefficiencies relating to providing player accommodations based on player skill. For example, conventional systems may require individual players of different engagement levels to obtain items at the same rate, aka like everyone has the same odds. Conventional systems further may not account for a usage-based accommodation. Other drawbacks may exist, aka conventional systems don't account for, hey, this player is less likely to play again. This new system is looking at all things, talking about player engagement, retention, etc. They're more likely to give out something based upon all these factors, whereas conventional systems are just like the items are obtained at the same rate. It's fair for everybody, right? So there's inefficiencies with that because new players have the same amount of chances of packing something good or obtaining something good, you could say, as a player who's been around and playing for 10 years. So that's where the inefficiencies and drawbacks are in this current system that a static odds system would be, right? So this whole thing here is basically a hodgepodge of a system that reads usage rates and reads all types of different things to determine actual dynamic odds, basically, of in-game items, right? Now, whatever this might be, we have no idea. The problem with all of this is you will have no idea if this is in the game or not. Like, you're just not going to be able to tell. You would need such a giant sample size and information that you just really cannot get to prove that this stuff's in the game. Like, you're just not going to be able to prove that. But for example, interesting stuff down here, you know, all this information is stored server side, right? So all the stuff here talks about that they have just information on everything, right? Literally all of the information you possibly could want on an account, they have that server side, which I know is obvious, but they're highly highlighting the fact that they're accounting for all of this in said system, right? And they obviously talk about online games too, right? Not just offline games, it's online games as well. And yeah, I mean, also the same two guys on this patent here that were on this initial one based on the Time Awards or whatever. So just interesting things to look at, right? Whether it's true or not, because it's not just like EA's only FC. It's all different games. But I don't know, guys. I mean, it's hard to believe for me that this wouldn't be a thing. It just makes too much sense. It's too difficult to detect. I have zero proof of this. Don't sue me. Okay, I have no proof of this being a thing at all. But if I take my best guess, I would bet that there's some like dynamic item obtain rates going on in this game. I'm sure there is. And of course, don't forget here, we got a new version of DDA basically that's, I guess, just harder to detect. So there's so much stuff in this that is unfortunate because we have all of this technology that we know EA has, but are they actually using it in their game? And I say in their game, there's so many EA games. Are they using it in this game specifically? I don't know that. You know, how are we going to figure this out? I don't know how you would prove this stuff, but this is why it shows you they have these systems in place. So to say that it's all wacky conspiracy shit, that this stuff can't exist, is obviously absurd, right? They have a technology for all of this stuff, whether it be DDA or dynamic obtain rates on whatever your game you're playing. The question obviously is whether it's actually in the game or not. That's where the debate comes in. And honestly, I don't know myself, but take a look at this link here if you want to look through all of EA's patents and see if you see anything. If you're bored at all one day, check this out and then DM me or something like that if you're finding anything interesting. I was going through for a long time just looking at stuff, and there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Of course, I can go into like more in detail reading the nitty-gritty stuff. I just figured that the video would become 30 minutes at that point, and I didn't really want to bother with that. But you can go through and read all the little stuff, and it's exactly kind of what you expect. It's hard. You have to kind of read through a lot of it like twice because it is such like technical speak slop, but at the same time, you can get some pretty interesting information out of it by reading through it all. But okay, on to some like leaks and news stuff here. Futties obviously starts on Friday. First 99 rated cards, I guess, is confirmed here, and they'll be in packs and SBCs and objectives. This is the official card design. That's kind of like the bit of news here, and it looks great. I actually think it looks very good. It looks better than shapeshifters to me. I mean, it can't be worse than shapeshifters, so I guess that's our one bit of hope here. Not to be a stick in the mud, I guess, but here are these playstyle plus evos we've still not seen yet. We've got low driven plus, anticipate plus, quick step plus, pinged plus, incisive plus. So some great playstyles in here. Add in some roles as well, and a right wing position and inside forward plus there as well. Cam position too. So if we don't see these in the cup, I would assume these are going to be in the season pass. So I feel like we've not seen a low driven plus playstyle yet in the season pass, so maybe that would, I guess, be a little hint that that could be in the season pass. But yeah, still waiting on these, and we'll probably know today at content time. And then guys, I mean, what can you say about this one? Okay, we knew it was going to happen at some point, okay? And I'm sure most of you guys saw this because it came out yesterday. But yes, it's Milinkovic-Savic. It's a center back Milinkovic-Savic. Now, he can play DM and center mid, by the way. He can. It's a flashback Milinkovic-Savic. He can play DM, which if you shit yourself and need to change of pants quickly, I understand. You can pause the video. It doesn't look quite as good as FIFA 23's, considering slide tackle plus now. Maybe slide tackle plus and like a 6'9" guy actually might be kind of cool. But he's got bruiser, anticipate, and aerial with some nice stats there. I guess 93s as well can go into Evo, so that might make a difference. But yes, Vanja returns. Okay, what is there to say? Just honestly, it's a good, just be happy that he's not insane, because he'd be running everybody's midfield and 4-2-1-3 with Millie Savage as a DM. I mean, good fucking god, it would have been bad. And up here, Memo Neuer, still have not seen yet official stats on this card though. He's got rapid, pinged, aerial, and low driven. I don't think we saw his official stats in last video, and he looks very, very good. Of course, it's the whole debate of a flashback Neuer's a striker, which some are not going to like too much. But here are all the SBCs and objectives for Team 4 here, and we've seen like most of these already, but the ones we've not seen yet, Danjuma, we've not seen. That's a pretty good card there. It's nothing too crazy, but it's a good card. Athena as well, upgradable and looks very, very good. And down here, I think we've seen the rest of, yeah, we've seen the rest of these apart from just Danjuma and Athena. Araujo, actually, we haven't seen it either, but we saw him in the other videos. And yeah, there was shapeshifters, guys. Shapeshifters and tots, I tell you what a duo of promos we got this year. And last thing we'll talk about here, you know, I try and cover like a lot of the community's drama as well. If there's drama going on within the YouTube space, I try and cover that as well here. And there was this, that S2G, if you guys don't know, he's a big FIFA YouTuber, and he made this video, which is not even a day later. I replayed the career of Diogo Jota, and people were obviously not happy about this, which I think is very fair to say. Now, he did say that he was donating all of the ad money to the, well, actually, I don't know which charity, but to a charity, apparently, he's donating all the money 92. So what do you guys think about this? Because if I had to take my opinion on this, is it's obviously quite distasteful. Like, it's just, there's so many other videos you could have made here that you didn't have to make this one, right? You just didn't have to do this. And it's a little tacky, right? It's a little tacky, a little distasteful to me. But if it's all going to charity, I guess it's, it's only, I suppose, a good thing when you think about it. But it's a little tacky to me because there's no way he didn't know that that video would bang. He knew it would, right? And when you think about it, that probably played a pretty big factor in this. I don't know the guy, but if I had to guess, that probably played a pretty big factor in making this video, which is quite sad. So, okay, the market right now, the only thing I really can say, I guess, is that futties will probably crash it. Usually the new paid season passes also end up crashing a little bit. That comes out in 3 days or 4 days, whatever it is. So you'll probably see a drop, and right now there's not a whole lot going on, so it should be okay until like the day before. I just want to be out maybe by like Monday or maybe Tuesday, so when there's some rivals demand, maybe be out from like Tuesday to the weekend, I would say. That's about it. The exchanges aren't changing. There's not really a point in talking about fodder investing at the moment, but okay, let's read some comments here. What I'm going to do though for this comments, a lot of the comments from yesterday's video or 2 days ago's video were, more on the serious side, because obviously we got pretty deep yesterday, right, with the Diogo stuff, and a lot of you guys in the comments were as well, and I love, hearing from you guys, and you guys had some heartwarming and heart-wrenching stories in the comment section as well, and I'm not going to try and read through those right now, just to not bring the vibes down here, but I really appreciate all your guys' comments, so we're going to read through some like the FIFA related stuff here. We got zzzz. I'm so sorry. To be honest, the promo length wouldn't be a problem if the content was not the same week in, week out, and that I agree with. I said in yesterday's video that like, yeah, the promo length is a problem right now because we had 6 weeks of tots or 7 weeks of tots and then 4 weeks of shapeshifters, and if the content was good, I don't think it really matters, because think about FIFA 23, I think we liked tots and shapeshifters combined, and I think they were the same exact lengths, I want to say. Shapeshifters was either 3 or 4 weeks, so kind of the same thing there, and we all liked it. So I think, yeah, it's less so the actual promo length that's the initial issue. It's more so if you make a bad promo and then it's 3 or 4 weeks long, then we have an issue. But that's the first problem, right? The first problem is like the promo itself, if it's good or not. So yes, I do agree with that there. We got Pierce next here. The issue with this game is I have 97 rated cards on a squad battles only account that don't make the team, and evos are mostly 92 rated, boosted to 95, and SBCs are all 96. Improving the team is impossible, which is making all of us unbelievably bored. And I think you're right, but I think the first part here is that I think EA didn't realize the evo problem they would have this year, and that's that to release all these cards all the time, you reach a point where, because you're releasing so many, you can't make them all better than the last one because the power curve would move so fast then. So I think they were kind of doing that until Team of the Year time, then they kind of had to stop for a while, and then people got bored during that period of like March and April and May, because they almost couldn't increase the power curve without breaking the game entirely. But the problem was, by doing that, you made the game uninteresting, so you kind of had to go all out. Relates to what we talked about before, how I thought they had to do that. And second thing too here is I actually think that improving the team, if they knew the power curve was going to go this way, say at the beginning of this year, what they could have done is made things interesting in different ways. You could have done it so that you needed a lot of cards from different leagues and different nations, and you needed 5 different teams for 5 different leagues, and you needed 5 different nation teams for different cups and stuff like that, different game modes. That's what they could have done with this system. But the problem is right now they still have the same system where it's, we need you to have your best team all the time because we need you to think about that R9 card every day, because we need to convince you need that 10 mil R9, so you go out and try and spend FIFA points to get it, instead of sort of embracing the power curve they created where you need to create different teams out of it and stuff like that. They haven't done that, and they've just kind of stayed with the same system and stayed pat despite this whole cards were very good very early this year, and that's the mistake they made to me. I think they actually could have made a good game out of the system here, but they kept all the other stuff the exact same, and that was their mistake. And I don't know if they realized what the problem was going to be, or if they didn't realize it until it was too late and next year it's going to be different, or if they like how it is right now. It's hard to say. I don't really know. The numbers actually seem to be doing okay in terms of the casuals and stuff, so maybe they like how it is right now. I'm not really sure. But okay, it's time to make a terrible decision and get nothing here. Don't do this, please. Okay, it's gonna be a waste of your coins, I'm sure, unless I pack Croy for Dino here, which is probably not gonna happen, but it's a lot of coins to spend on one pack. Here we go. Let's see if we can get anything at all. I'm sorry, the audio is probably loud here. That's a goalkeeper, Italy. Okay, we got Donnarumma there. Donnarumma, and we got Bobby Charlton. So that's our icon that we got, I think, right? Ooh. 550 for 150. Great trade out of me there, along with literally the minimum rating on everything else. Okay, guys, don't open this pack, please. Thank you guys all for watching, though. I love you all. Servers on, please.